What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to episode number 4 of The Best of My Recollection. And today I'm going to tell a story about how I went over to Elmore Leonard's house just for the sole purpose of meeting him. I didn't have any connections with the guy other than my good pal, Dave. Dave is an awesome woodworker, and he built some badass bookcases, bookshelves for Elmore Leonard. As you can imagine, he has a shitload of books. This would have been probably around 1999, maybe 2000, 2001 at the latest. Dave called me up and he was like, hey, I called Elmore Leonard and asked him if we could come over. I told him I got a friend that wants to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, sweet. I had actually met Elmore Leonard's granddaughter. I'd see her a couple times at the Mount Chalet on Woodward and 14 Mile. We'd go there for like dollar beers on dollar drafts on Tuesdays and stuff. And I'd run into her and she would like tell me stories about like just funny stories, dropping off weed at his house for him and stuff like that. So me and Dave show up at Elmore Leonard's house, this massive house. He's pretty old at this point. I don't know, he's probably in his like late 70s. He's kind of like a little bit spaced out, like he doesn't really know like why we're there and stuff, which I kind of felt bad about, but I totally appreciate Dave going out of his way to do this for me. He welcomes us in, we're talking and stuff. I had written like a little book of poetry that I gave him a copy of for some reason, and then he signed one of his books and gave it to me. And then he pulled another book off the shelf and he signed it to Dave, but he wrote Bob. So obviously he was like not 100% with it, but he did know that Dave was the person who built his bookshelves. So at least we were on the same page there, so to speak. That's really the end of it. I mean, it's really the actual like hangout session was not worth a big, we weren't like, you know, pounding beers and stuff, but he's a really cool guy. And I could say I went over to Elmore Leonard's house, broed down with him for a little while. He's a part of American literary and film history. Now, there might be a lot of younger viewers out there who don't know who Elmore Leonard was. If you know who Quentin Tarantino is, you are connected to Elmore Leonard. An awesome novelist. He died in 2013. He's from the Detroit metro area. Well, he started out writing westerns, like Hombre. A few of them got turned into movies, but some of them were kind of duds. Then he got into like crime fiction and detective stuff. This one's La Brava, this one's called Swag. And then he really hit his stride kind of late in life. The big money maker was Get Shorty. Obviously, I mean, he had made a ton of money as a novelist throughout his career up until then, but Get Shorty was a big moneymaker for him. I think he wrote Jackie Brown too, kind of like short clips, dialogue style that Elmore Leonard would write, kind of shows up in a lot of Quentin Tarantino stuff, Pulp Fiction, I mean, I guess Reservoir Dogs. I loved Pulp Fiction. I'm really not a big Quentin Tarantino fan, except for this last one that he just made, the one about the Manson murders and all that. Even though I haven't written a lot of fiction, I did write a lot of screenplays when I was younger, and that kind of style worked its way into my style also. He had a great way of moving a plot along in a way that wasn't predictable, but was not overly complicated, and awesome characters and everything. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have another great story for you tomorrow.